Hello, my name is Subhash, and in this video I'm going to teach you the fundamental differences between biosafety and biosecurity. This video will be useful to the students, adult learners and anyone who is interested in learning more about laboratory biorisk management. So before I highlight the differences between the biosafety and biosecurity, I want to tell you what is meant by biosafety and what is meant by biosecurity. Biosafety is all about protecting the people from the biological agents, their derivatives and toxins. Or broadly speaking, biosafety is nothing but protecting the people from the bad bugs. And broadly speaking, biosecurity is all about protecting the infectious agents, their derivatives and toxins from the bad people. However, biosecurity biosafety we can define as biosafety can be defined as containment principles, technologies or practices or procedures that are implemented to prevent unintentional exposure to biological agents, their derivatives and toxins or their accidental release. So basically, biosafety provides the procedures, practices and policies to protect the people. And biosecurity can be defined as, or biosecurity can be described as protection, control and accountability for the biological agents, their derivatives and toxins within laboratories in order to prevent their loss, theft, misuse, diversion of unauthorized access or intentional unauthorized release. And ultimate idea is to provide, this biosecurity provides the procedures, practices and policies to protect the biological agents, their derivatives and toxins from the bad people. Okay, so what are the fundamental differences between biosafety and biosecurity? So if you look at here, so these are the unique features specific to the biosafety. So first feature is for the protection of the people, we use the personal protective equipment. So examples of the personal protective equipment we call in short PPE, personal protective equipment. So hand gloves, lab coats, safety glasses, face shield. So these are the examples of the PPE. But PPE can be complex. For example, biosafety level 4, the infectious agents are of high risk, and for this purpose, the people, those are working there, they use the positive pressure suit. So they are completely isolated from the environment of the laboratory to protect themselves. So these are some of the examples of PPE. Then another feature of the biosafety, we use engineering controls for the biosafety purpose. For example, we use the biosafety cabinet in the laboratory to handle the biological agents, their derivatives, and another example is directional airflow. So in the laboratories, in containment laboratories, the air pressure should be negative. So as a result of that one, the biological agents or their derivatives will not escape from the laboratory to the surrounding environment. Okay, then another feature of the biosafety or the biosafety specific feature is good laboratory work practices. This one is very important. For example, before leaving the lab, laboratorians should wash their hands, then leave the lab. Then in addition to that one, in case if there is a spillage of the biological agents, laboratorians should know how to clean that spillage of the biological agents. So these are two examples of the good laboratory work practices, but there are more. Okay. Then another feature specific to the biosafety is practices and procedures. So depends on the facility, depends on what type of work is done, and some other factors. So there could be additional practices and procedures to make sure that people those are working there are protected from the biological agents, their derivatives and the toxins. Now we'll see what are the biosecurity specific features which is unique to the biosecurity, and this is a fundamental difference between the biosafety and biosecurity. So for example, for the biosecurity purpose, the implementation of the biometric system or fingerprint system. So this one is to make sure that the unauthorized people will not enter into that biocontainment facility, or they will not have access to that containment facility, or they will not be able to enter into the laboratory. So that's why we can we use biometric system or fingerprinting system. So the ultimate aim is to control the access. Okay, then camera at the right locations to monitor the in and out of the people. Researchers, those are going inside, those are coming outside. So in order to monitor the movement of the personnel in and out from that containment facility, camera or surveillance camera or CCTV needs to be used, and which is specific to the which is for the biosecurity purpose. Then card readers, each and every laboratory or staff of that company or biocontainment facility will have the ID card with the barcode, and by using that card after swapping, then they will get the access. So at the same time, it is recorded that who is entering inside the facility and timing details. Then in addition to that one, digital lock can be there. So for that purpose, the people those are having access should know the PIN or the password. So once they enter, then they can go inside. Then in addition to that one, traditional lock and key system. So all the laboratories should be with the locks. So all these features are to make sure that the only authorized personnel will go inside, or the authorized individuals will go inside. Then security guard, this one is not only for the containment facility, but for the whole campus. That company or that university or that center of excellence will have the guards which keeps an eye on the people's movement in case of the containment facility. So when the researchers are coming, when they are going out, and these security guards can keep an eye to make sure that everything is fine and under control, and if there is any suspicious activity or suspicious behavior, so this surveillance camera or based on the observation, security guard can play the role to make sure that the facility is safe. Then fences, this one is a part of the physical security. So that research center or university or that containment facility will have the fence to make sure that only the authorized people will come into the campus or in that containment facility. Then windows of the laboratory or the containment facility, the laboratory should be with the bars. If there are no bars, so after office hours, so anybody can open the window and can come inside and can steal the biological agents or the derivatives or the toxins. So that one should not happen. So that's why the window should be with the bars. Then magnetic lock system. It's also called as intelligent door interlocking system. So this one helps because when the laboratory opens the door, so after opening the door, automatically door gets locked. So this one is important for the safety purpose. And in addition to that, security alarm system. So to alert the people those are working there, or security guard, the personnel those are working there, so they can be alerted by using the security alarms. So these are the biosecurity specific features, and these are the biosafety specific features. So now there are some elements common in biosafety and biosecurity. So what are these elements? For example, access control. Access control is important from the biosafety perspective as well as biosecurity perspective. Then personnel management. The people those are working in the laboratory, so their management is important from biosafety perspective as well as biosecurity perspective. Then inventory of biological hazards. Hazard is nothing but situation or source or substance which has a potential to cause the harm. So this inventory is equally important from the biosafety perspective as well as from biosecurity perspective. Then proper documentation is very important, not only for the auditing purpose but to monitor the regular activities as well as day-to-day operations. This proper documentation is very important, because if there is no documentation, that means that particular activity or thing is not done. No documentation means there is no proof, and if there is no documentation, so that means no work. Okay, so proper documentation is very important. For example, waste disposal. So waste disposal or biomedical waste disposal from the laboratory, so needs to be documented properly, and that one is important from biosafety perspective as well as biosecurity perspective. Then proper shipping procedures. This one is also common for the biosafety as well as biosecurity, because the company where you are working, or the university or the research center where you are working, may be having a collaboration with other companies or universities or research centers within the country or in other countries. So you have to send the samples either for the biodiagnostic purpose, or for the additional experiments, or maybe for the DNA sequencing purpose. You are sending the biological agents. So this shipping needs to be done properly, and it's very important for the biosafety purpose as well as biosecurity purpose. So these are the fundamental differences between the biosafety and biosecurity, and these are the common areas. Those are important from both biosafety as well as biosecurity perspective. Okay, so to summarize, the laboratory biorisk management covers both biosafety as well as biosecurity. Both biosafety and biosecurity are equally important, and laboratory biosafety, biosecurity mitigates different risks, but they share a common goal. The goal is to keep biological agents, their derivatives and toxins safe and secure inside the areas where they are stored and used. Thank you very much for watching.